Hi, I'm Tina Swithin, author of Divorcing a Narcissist and founder of One Mom's Battle, which is an online resource center and support system for individuals who are divorcing or going through custody battles with narcissists, sociopaths, or borderlines. And today I want to talk about how important it is to standing firm in your truth during a custody battle with a personality disordered individual. The narcissist is known for their vicious attacks and blatant lies and projection, a lot of projection. So basically, if they are guilty of something or if they have a problem with something, they are going to put it off on you and try to convince others that you're actually the problem. It can be really confusing, especially if you are still in the fog of an abusive relationship. It's important to really have a solid support system in place, if that's friends or family members or a good therapist who's truly skilled in understanding these toxic individuals. You really need to have that support in place as you navigate this situation, specifically so they can help you to lift your vision, to look at things from a non-emotional perspective, and to be strategic in all of your actions when it comes to family court. In my own custody battle, the lies were truthfully one of the most difficult parts. I am someone who prides myself on being honest and having integrity and ethics. And so the first time I got served with a huge stack of court paperwork, and I'm sitting there reading through this, and I don't even know who the person is that my ex-husband was describing. It was painful. I felt like I was reading about another person who I had never met. While I knew that this was inaccurate and filled with lies, the reality is the courts don't know who I am. I don't expect them to know who I am. And now that I sit in courtrooms with other people as they navigate this system, I understand that even more. There are days that I sit in court and I watch people ping pong back and forth, and if I don't know both parties, I don't know who to believe sometimes. And there are times I understand why courts make 50-50 decisions, because in their mind, they don't know either party. It's a lot of he said, she said. They at least hope that the children will have a 50% chance of turning out okay. So sometimes their hands are very tied in these situations as well. In the first set of court paperwork that I received, my ex-husband said that I was a raging alcoholic who was out partying every night and couldn't even take care of my children. He painted a picture of someone who had a revolving door of men in and out of my house, even during my marriage. My truth was that if I drank 2 glasses of wine in a week, that was a lot. And my truth also was that I'm not capable of cheating on anyone ever. I've never cheated on anyone in a relationship, and it's just not even in my character as a possibility. So when I'm reading these things, it was really difficult. And there was a point where it threatened to derail me. I did not know how I was going to walk in that courtroom and prove that that's not who I was. It took me time to understand that I had to stand firm in my truth. And the reality was the courts, the he said, she said stuff, it truly doesn't matter. It doesn't hold a lot of weight. unless there is solid evidence. Unfortunately, there are some, I can't say all the time, there are some family court professionals who will believe, inaccurate information when there is no proof. So, this is by all means not a blanket statement. I am talking specifically about my case and a lot of the cases that I help with. But I know there is high levels of corruption and, the good old boys networks in the court system. So by all means, I hope I don't offend you when I say that you should really focus on black and white evidence and information. Once I took a step back and took the emotions out of the situation, I came up with a very logical answer for the court, and that was, this is not who I am, but I believe so firmly that there is actually an issue with my ex-husband and alcoholism, because it was a huge source of contention during our marriage, that I would be willing to sign an agreement that neither one of us drink alcohol during our time with the children. And that actually accomplished one of my goals anyway. He didn't follow the rules, which is a whole different story. But the reality was there was a court order set that neither one of us could drink. And so it gave me another loophole to catch him in when he did violate the order. And for me, I was being accused of these things, but it wasn't true, and it was no sweat off my back to just agree to the no alcohol clause. It was absolutely imperative that I became very clear in what my truth was, because when these projections or lies are painted about you, for someone who does value honesty, it can really throw you off. And so I had to, look at what my truth was. My truth was, I actually have a fear of addiction. It runs heavily in my family. And so it's something that I've always been aware of. If I crave jelly beans, it's a concern to me. I really am aware of addictive patterns of behavior. No offense if you are addicted to jelly beans, but I had to absorb my truth. And that was my truth, that I'd never had an alcohol problem. And then from there, once you are clear and firm in your truth on whatever the topic is, it makes it easier for you to navigate this without emotions. And over time, the courts or the family court professionals will see that your words and your actions are in alignment. The reality is that the narcissist is truly very skilled at throwing these accusations out, but their words and their